I was thinking about the Bluetooth and how my Bluetooth speaker is probably fucking me up somehow with my phone service and messaging. Of course, this this led to various other thoughts, but ultimately I was thinking, wasn't it a lady that came up with something that became the Bluetooth? I knew I had heard this story about this lady, Hedy Lamarr, because of she actually came up with wireless controlled torpedoes. And to wirelessly control the torpedoes, you need some sort of Bluetooth type system. So she had came up with the precursor to that. She was a movie star and an inventor. And these are the runes. These are why I think this messing with is a technological, but maybe sort of a mystical and magical hack because of the rune Berkana, which I will place there, and the rune Tiwaz. So obviously you can see my conclusions were drawn from that. And then upon a little research, I found it was Hedy Lamarr, and she has a very interesting story.
Who got her start in a little-known Czech erotic film called Ecstasy. She eventually found her way to America, and after signing a contract with MGM, her first big break was in the 1938 film Algiers. But even though she had a fairly prolific Hollywood film career, perhaps her biggest contribution to the world was inventing something we can almost guarantee you use on a daily basis. Keep watching to find out what exactly Lamarr's groundbreaking invention was, how it helped the U.S. military, and more details about her life, in which she was basically given the short end of the stick despite being the genius behind one of the most influential inventions of the 20th century. Hedy Lamarr's early life. Born Hedwig Eva Maria Keisler on November 9, 1914 in Vienna, Austria, Lamarr grew up as a Christian despite the fact that both of her parents had Jewish heritage. Her father was a bank director from Lemberg, and her mother was a pianist who hailed from Budapest. A marriage with Fritz Mandy, a rich Austrian ammunition manufacturer who put guns into the hands of Nazis, Lamarr traveled to London where she met MGM bigwig Louis B. Mayer. After revealing her previous film work in Ecstasy, he invited her to come to America. And once she arrived in Hollywood, she signed a contract with Mayer's film studio. This was when she adopted her stage name and left her old Austrian name behind. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First for more. And stick around for a lot more on Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr was a unique breed of Hollywood star. After Lamarr's first American film, Algiers, hit theaters, she immediately became a box office sensation. Almost overnight, she'd become the new Hollywood it girl. Lamarr went on to appear in quite a few notable and well-received films throughout the 30s and 40s, and was reportedly even producer Hal Wallace's first choice for the lead in his 1943 classic Casablanca, though that role ultimately went to Ingrid Bergman. Lamarr was often referenced in the media at the time as one of the most beautiful and exotic leading ladies in Tinseltown, and her name also was getting associated with some of the most famous men of her time as well. One of these eligible bachelors was the wealthy and eccentric business tycoon and pilot Howard Hughes. Hughes and Lamarr dated for a spell, but instead of being attracted merely to his wealth and prestige, Lamarr was more interested in his desire for innovation. Her interest in the sciences, which her father helped cultivate, had been repressed by her burgeoning Hollywood career, but Hughes helped reignite that flame within her mind. He gave her a small set of scientific lab equipment that she used in her trailer while on set. While Lamarr had an inventing table and workshop set up at her home, this small set that Hughes gifted her allowed her to work on her inventions while taking a break between shots. Knowing she had a passion for engineering, Hughes took her to his airplane manufacturing facilities and gave her a behind-the-scenes look at how these aircraft were built while introducing her to scientists and engineers. Lamarr was inspired by this and especially intrigued by Hughes's desire to create faster planes that could be marketed to the U.S. military. After buying a book covering the aerodynamics of birds and fish, she took that knowledge and crafted a new kind of wing design for Hughes's airplanes. After she showed her work to Hughes, he declared her a genius. And the genius she was. In 1942, at the peak of Lamarr's Hollywood career, she met a composer, George Antheil, at a dinner party. Antheil and Lamarr hit it off and started to swap invention ideas. Eventually, they were awarded a patent on August 11, 1942, for a novel type of radio signaling device called a secret communications system, which used an ever-changing set of radio frequencies to keep enemy intelligence operatives from decoding covert messages. Originally, this tech, which was technically called a frequency-hopping spread system, was designed to outwit the Nazis by guiding Allied torpedoes in World War II. But later, this system became a crucial stepping stone in the development of technology for both military communications systems as well as cell phones. Eventually, the tech gave rise to technologies like Wi-Fi, GPS, CDMA, and Bluetooth. But since the wide range of applications of that tech wasn't fully understood until decades later, Lamarr and Antheil sadly didn't get the recognition they fully deserved. In fact, it was many years later until anyone outside the military even knew what they developed. The Navy initially shelved their invention and wouldn't dust it off again and realize its profound importance until later. Beyond that, their invention was also technically difficult to implement. 2 decades later, however, an updated version of Lamarr and Antheil's design appeared on Navy ships during the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It wasn't until 1997 that Lamarr was honored with the Electronic Frontier Foundation Pioneer Award. The same year, she also became the first woman to receive the Bowlby-Nass Spirit of Achievement Award, an honor often regarded as the Oscars of inventing. In 2014, Lamarr and Antheil were inducted, albeit posthumously, into the National Inventors Hall of Fame.